Said given the location, recording security personnel, it's criminal. There was a message when I started the live. I'm in the Holy Land of Israel until recently. I mean, it was always known as, let's say, first we originally Eretz Canaan, but it's promised our forefathers and becomes Eretz eventually Israel, even though, there's the land of Abraham. Abraham received a lot of land. Isaac receives that land, right? Israel receives that land. There's also others that receive that land with them, right? I mean, the children of Abraham with their land, Even, I want to say, not just land in the Middle East, but as far as even just the East, right? Like, I think Asia, because you know how in the Bible about Abraham sending away Keturah, right? And the children of Keturah, I believe, right? With gifts, right? Abraham sends away Keturah with gifts. This is a fig tree. It's actually like a huge fig tree. And it's very biblical to sit in the shade of each man in his own fig tree, right? There's all kinds of fields growing in this valley. There's hyenas running around laughing and birds laughing. There's people living in the mountains. There's private homes, duplexes, apartment buildings. There's people everywhere. Houses of prayer everywhere. People in every color. And people of every language. This is Israel. We're in Israel. The holiest of holy. The land of Abraham. We're talking about the land of Abraham. It's bigger than just the land of Israel or, the Palestine. Palestine was called under was it the British? Who called it the Palestine? Was it the Ottomans, the Turks? There were so many different powers that had control over this land. There was people coming from outside to conquer this land all the time. Who are the people that were living here in the last 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years? Who are the people that have been here that long? I mean, if you want to go back on that claim, like, who does it belong to, right? Or is it not that question of who does it belong to? It's just who's actually been here. There's two different arguments, because you could say, like, one person who doesn't have anything to do with the land in a nationalistic way, meaning he's not part of any other group that's been here. Let's say he's an alien, right? But he's been living here for 500 years, and he can show us records. His family's been here 500 years. Everyone knows he's been here 500 years. But he's not like, he doesn't have a claim to this land in a nation. He doesn't have a nation that he's a part of that says this is their land. He just says, I've been living here, right? Me and my family. It's just a family, a tribe. Versus someone also who can say that, right? They can also say that I've been here the same amount of time, and I have also a national. I'm part of this nation. I'm part of this tribe that the land actually belongs to. I'm not an alien. I'm not an alien. I've been living here the whole time, and it belongs to me. So probably the one who has the land that it actually belongs to him will have a longer chain. Why? Because living in the Holy Land was very hard. It was very hard. It was constantly being conquered, and it wasn't producing any fruit. It's very recent that it produces fruit and that there's animal life and things are alive, you know. So who would really be living here, you know? Who would be living in Israel? Well, for some amount of time, there were definitely many aliens living here. But there's also been those who the land belongs to living here the entire time. And their claim to the land is that we own it. It's our land. It belongs to us. Why? Because God gave it to us. God created the world, and it's His, and He puts people where He wants them to be, and He gives them land, and He takes the land, and He gives it to someone else. The people, the 7 nations that were living in Israel, the Canaanites, the others, they were not treating the land right. They were doing a lot that they shouldn't have been doing. They were not treating the land right. So God kicked them out. One of those 7 nations that were living in Israel at the time, when they got word Israel is coming, they left Egypt and they're coming to the Holy Land. Word was sent out, you know. They left. They went to Africa. But Asia, think about Asia. I was trying to say the B'nai Keturah, the children of Keturah in the Bible, that Abraham sends away Keturah, which may be Hagar, his, you know, see, Yishmael's mother, it's not Sarah, right? It's Hagar. When she sends away the boy, she sends him away with Hagar. Where does he get Hagar from? It's interesting. I gotta brush up on my Bible skills, the story. You know, I gotta read the Bible again, refresh. But Hagar, or Keturah, maybe the same person. Keturah gets sent away, and her children get sent away. But they get sent away with gifts. We know these gifts are gifts of wisdom and knowledge, as Rashi writes. Rashi is a medieval commentator, I believe living in France. He, I believe, had vineyards and grew grapes, I believe. I think that was what he did. And he wrote commentary on the Torah, which is very, very, very concise, with a lot of information on every level of Torah, even the most mystical, in a way that children even study Rashi and understand. It's very, very concise, and, you know, there's many commentaries even on Rashi, you know. Even in English, what is Rashi saying? So Rashi says they get sent away with gifts of wisdom. So the East are also, possibly maybe certain tribes come from Abraham. It's interesting to wonder, okay, would they get a land of Abraham's seeds? Are supposed to be, first of all, numerous like the stars, but also he's supposed to have land, right? I don't know how big his land is and where it extends, but do they get a part of any of that, or they were sent away, so they were given other land? So you could still say that's the land of Abraham then, if you were to say that, right? Okay. And what about Ishmael, right? Ishmael has 12 princes, which I believe today there are 12 princes of Ishmael. They have land. So where's that, right? So the land of Abraham is probably bigger than the land of what is called the land of Israel, right? Because Israel, who's Israel? We have Abraham had his two sons were, we said there was the Bnei Keturah that were sent away, the children of Keturah that were sent away. He had other sons probably. But I really have to look at Mayim Lois. It's available also in English. I don't think it was originally written in English. No, I think Ari Kaplan translated it into English. And it has all the extra biblical stories, like really crazy stuff. I was reading, I think it talks about like wars that Abraham was waging against, kings. Like maybe they were waging war against him, but I mean, even in the Bible, he goes to war against, right? There was the 4 kings and the 5 kings, and the 4 kings defeated the 5 kings, and they took a lot of stuff with them. The nephew of Abraham, Lot. So Abraham goes and rescues him, right? He's a world superpower, Abraham. He's not a one little. I mean, there's nothing little about him. How is he fighting against, kings? Well, we know. Did he? Am I mixing up stories, or was Abraham throwing like dust and dirt and it would just turn into spears? I might be confusing stories with maybe in the Talmud or somewhere. There's a story about the Jews had to go and like pay homage to a certain king with like treasures. So they did, and they had sent their rabbi to bring, the treasure chest. And the innkeeper that they stayed at somehow steals all the treasure and fills it up with dirt. The rabbi takes it, and I didn't even know if he opened it or didn't open it, but either way, he took this chest of dirt to the king as a homage from the Jews. The king opens it, and obviously it's looking really bad, thing of dirt. At that moment, Elijah the prophet appears and tells this king, you should test it out in your enemies. Let's see if it's the magic, whatever, it turns into spears thing. But where would he have known that from? I think maybe he knew that because everyone knew Abraham had that, maybe. But anyways, they tried it, and this dust, magic powder, actually turned into spears for them. It would kill their enemies. Or arrows or something. I think the ending of the story, I hope I'm not making this up, but I think the ending of the story was that when the innkeeper that stole the gems found and replaced it with dirt found out, so he took more of the dirt and brought it to the king, and didn't do it, and they killed him. I think that's the end of the story. I don't know, we gotta look all this stuff up. Can we do a screen share? And then I could just look all this stuff up with you. I think I could do a screen share. I can't. I could do it on YouTube, fine. So if y'all want, you can go on my YouTube. And I can do a screen share. Alright, my YouTube is youtube.com/@ Califari, Caliphari, at Califari. I think, pretty sure. Did I see a shooting star? Alright. Shavua Tov and Mevorach, everyone.